Why do poor people always stay poor? China's richest man, Jack Ma, once said, "If you put bananas and money in front of monkeys, they will choose bananas, because they don't understand that money can buy a lots of bananas." In the same way, if you give someone the choice between a job and a business, most will choose the job, because they don't realize a business can earn far more than a salary. One major reason why the poor stay poor is that they're never taught how to recognize opportunities. They spend years in school learning how to work for someone else, not how to build something of their own. Profit is better than wages. Wages can help you survive, but profit can make you wealthy. If you never learn to spot opportunities, you'll always choose the safe path, not the profitable one. And that's the heartbreaking part. Because this isn't just about money, it's about freedom, dignity, and lost dreams. Millions of people wake up before the sun rises, work for long hours, and return home with nothing but exhaustion. They struggle month after month, not because they're unqualified or lazy, but because they were never shown an alternative path. The world teaches them how to survive, but never how to thrive. They were told, go to school, get good grades, get a job, retire at 60. But no one ever taught them how to create wealth. No one taught them how to build something of their own. They memorized facts, followed rules, earned degrees, but no one taught them how to own a business, invest in assets, or make money even while they sleep. They were trained to be workers, not winners. Imagine a child growing up in a poor neighborhood. Every day he sees his parents struggle, not out of laziness, but because they're caught in a system that rewards obedience, not imagination. He sees stress in every corner, sleepless nights every week. No one in school tells him he could own the factory where his parents work. No one tells him that the phone in his hand isn't just for entertainment, that he could start an online store with it, reach thousands of people, and earn money. The tragedy is, most people go through life never gaining the tools they need to discover their true potential. We live in a world where people receive 12 to 16 years of formal education, yet they come out only knowing how to write essays, solve for X, and memorize historical dates, but not how to manage money, start a business, invest in assets, or negotiate their own worth. Isn't that strange? We prepare people for jobs they may never love, but we don't teach them how to build a life they truly want. The poor stay poor because society keeps telling them the same story. Stay in line. Don't take risks. Be grateful for whatever job you get. And that's how people shrink. They suppress their ideas. They work 40 hours a week for 40 years, and then retire on 40% of their income, which was never enough to begin with. That's not just unfair, it's soul-crushing. And this cycle continues from one generation to the next. A child watches their parents live small lives, so they learn to think small about their own. They inherit fear, not fortune, caution, not courage. And unless someone breaks that cycle, unless someone says, there is another way, nothing ever changes. But what if we taught kids how to recognize value, how to solve problems, how to create things that earn money even while they sleep? What if we showed them that failure isn't something to fear? It's a necessary step on the road to success? Because the truth is, the difference between the rich and the poor isn't just money, it's exposure. The rich grow up seeing how wealth is created. They hear conversations at the dinner table about stocks, real estate, businesses, scalability. The poor grow up hearing, we can't afford that. That's too expensive. Get a good job or you'll end up on the streets. Do you see the difference? It's not just about information. It's about the kind of environment that shapes your vision. Most poor people don't even know they're allowed to dream big. Their dreams are small, not because they lack ambition, but because no one ever told them they could think differently. They dream of a steady job, a running car, a roof that doesn't leak. It's not that they don't want yachts, freedom, or influence. It's just that life has weighed them down so much they're focused purely on survival. But becoming an entrepreneur changes that mindset. It teaches people to think differently. to see problems not as obstacles, but as opportunities. It turns struggle into purpose. It says, yes, you started with less, but that doesn't mean you have to settle for less. That's why starting a business is such a powerful tool for the poor. It's not just a source of income, it's a source of identity. It tells people, you are the author of your own story. Now, let's be honest, business isn't easy. It demands sacrifice, patience, sleepless nights, and belief during times when your bank account says no. But so does poverty. The difference is, in one, you remain trapped. In the other, you have a chance to fight. And here's another hard truth. Not everyone will succeed. Not every idea will work. Not every business will thrive. But the act of trying, the act of taking risks and pushing yourself outside your comfort zone, that's what changes people. It builds resilience, self-respect, and vision. Even if the first business fails, the person is changed forever. And that person will never think small again. Because once you taste freedom, you can't forget the flavor. So the poor don't stay poor because they lack the ability to become rich. They stay poor because society teaches them to doubt themselves, to ignore opportunity, to choose wages over wealth, to avoid failure, and not to chase success. And unless we help them unlearn these false lessons, they will never be free. We need a revolution, not just in education, but in mindset. We must stop worshiping job security and start celebrating risk takers. We need to make entrepreneurship accessible to everyone, not just the privileged. We need to show the poor that wealth is not some mysterious inheritance. It's a skill, a process, a mindset, and it can be learned. Imagine if schools taught kids how to build something of their own. Imagine if communities supported small businesses the way they support celebrities or athletes. Imagine if someone told a struggling single mother, you can turn your cooking into a catering brand, your sewing into a fashion label, your story into a book. Because inside every poor person is an entrepreneur waiting to be set free. They don't want pity, they want opportunity. They don't want charity. They want hands-on experience. They want someone to look them in the eye and say, you can, you are worthy, and yes, you absolutely will.